Well, hello, and welcome to Preparing to Survive and Thrive Homesteading channel with Charlie B. So what am I up to today? Well, today I'm going to answer that age-old question of what's for dinner. But before I start that video, I just have one thing to ask. If you would please like, share, and subscribe to my videos and give me a thumbs up, please, and share them with your friends and family. It really helps to get my videos out there. Maybe somebody can learn something. Maybe I can learn something from a comment. But today we are doing something a little different. We're going to do some sweet Italian sausages, the way I like to make them, and also some double stuffed baked potatoes. So let me bring you down here, and we're going to start off with meat. Just give me 1 minute. These are the sweet Italian sausages, and I'm cutting them in half. And I'm doing this with them still frozen as much as possible because they don't cut very good if they're not frozen. And I am just not putting hardly any pressure at all on here because I don't want to go through my hand or go through the meat and slice my hand up. So, and these knives are very, very sharp. So I'm just trying to get them cut. And I will be pulling off the skin that's around these sausages. Now we like this is a little different. Something different, you know. Try to keep different things in my pantry so we don't get food boredom. And I always make sure I have the spices and at least 1 or 2 extra packages of something that I'm cooking just in case I need it. Okay, so now these guys, like I said, the sweet Italian sausages are cut in half. I'm taking some flour. This is just totally plain flour. I'm going to drop these guys in here. And going to just kind of flour them over gingerly because they are without their skin, so they may like break up easy. That's another reason I try to leave them frozen as much as possible. One's a little bent. That's all right. Now, remember, you should definitely have things in your pantry that you eat and that you are stockpiling, because the cost of groceries is horrendous. Now, these sausages are not very expensive, and you can make a lot of different things with them. And this is just something a little bit different than frying them up. I'm going to bake them and hopefully put a little bit of a flour crust on them. And you can use whatever you want to. Some people will use cornmeal, whatever works for them. I'm not picky. Make this recipe your own. Now, today I'm actually cooking on my wood/pellet cook stove. So I'll be cooking these in the oven. So I've got it going. And it should be getting really hot about by now. Okay, y'all know how much I like my spices and added different things like that. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to add something a little different. I'm going to just do some different Old Bay seasoning. Okay, just something to kind of change it up, make it taste a little bit different. Because if you have your spices and herbs and stuff like that in your pantry, you could take something that's old and mundane that you've been eating forever and totally change it up. Just like when you start adding some, I'd done a sage chicken and it was absolutely amazing. Wasn't like eating the regular old chicken. It was really good. So there we go. And I'm going to get this in the oven, and then we're going to start on the potatoes. And here are the baked potatoes. I pulled them out of the oven about a half hour ago so they would cool. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut our baked potatoes in half. Hopefully I'm going to cut them in half. And after I get them cut in half, I'm going to go, these are still hot, by the way. I'm going to go ahead and cut or dig out the center and mix up a mix with the insides of these guys. We something a little different. This is really nice to make if you're doing a little bit of a celebration or, you know, you're having friends over. This It's a little extra, but it makes things nice. It's something different. And also this is really good for a game day thing too. It's almost like potato skins, except for we leave a lot of the meat in there. And just kind of do it up a little bit different. Okay, now if I find any little spots in here that need to come out, I will dig them out too and throw them away. This one right here, we have some spots in here. So I'm going to just pull that out, toss it in the sink. It's almost like the potato skin starts growing in the potatoes. It's a little on the weird side sometimes, these are. And yes, these are my potatoes. We did grow them. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to dig these out. About a ice cream scoop out of each of them. Let me show you this up close, how it looks. As you can see, there's still potato in there and all the way around. All right, I'm just going to dig them out like that, kind of making them into a little boat, but I don't want them to go down just to the skins. So let me get these done up, and then we'll come back with a mix that I'm going to do these up with. Okay, now I got the potatoes dug out. I'm going to take, I've got about a cup of the centers of the potatoes in here. What I'm going to do is take a tablespoon of butter, and I'm going to just start mixing this in with this potatoes. Now the butter will start to melt because these are a little warm. So I definitely tell you either melt your butter if they're really cold, or wait until you cut them up, pull them out, and put the butter in there so it does kind of melt, but not real watery melting. We don't want it to separate. We don't want it to turn into ghee and have the cream separate. So I've got 1/2 cup of, wait for it, sorry, I left it sit over here. I've got 1/2 cup of ranch, so I use half of the amount of potatoes that I have in here. So if you're doing a lot more and you end up with 2 cups of potatoes, you'd want 1 cup of ranch, which I have 1 cup of potatoes, and I'm using 1/2 cup of the ranch. It's 3 in 1. It's really good. It's nice. It's fun. And a tablespoon per cup of the potatoes innards. I'm just going to mix these together. Now, you might have to add a little bit of water in order to get these a little bit more softer. If you have to, that's all right. Sometimes you don't have to. I might not have to this time. But you want to get this mixed up really, really good. So I am going to go ahead and use about a tablespoon of water. So let me get that. What I do is I start off with a tablespoon of water, and I just kind of sprinkle it in there because I don't want to get it too soggy, too wet. So that's what I've used right in there so far, is a 1/2 tablespoon. There we go. It's mixing up much nicer now. This is something that you kind of got to feel to do. You'll get it as you work with it. I'm going to go ahead and add a little bit more. Now you could, if you really wanted to dress these up, which I'm not going to do these tonight, you could put them in an icing bag and do pretty little swirls on top of the potatoes. I'm not doing that. I'm still recovering from the COVID. You can probably tell it in my voice. Okay, so you see how I have it? Now when we go to pull these out, we've got some other things to add to them too. Or when we go to actually put them in to finish warming them up again. Okay, so I'm just going to do this, pull out some potato stuffing filling mix and just start setting it in there. I've got about, I don't know, rounded up tablespoon on here, and I just do it. Now if I have any left, I'll just go ahead and add to it. Just kind of want to fill up the boat a little bit. Now we'll salt and pepper these to taste here, but I will end up putting a little bit of salt and pepper on top of these. If you hear that, my cats are hissing. They want dinner, I guess, but they'll just have to wait. I'm just dividing this up to go into the little boats or cups, whatever you want to call them. And you'll have to probably just do what I'm doing to figure out how much goes in each one of them, because obviously I didn't measure them out, how much I pulled out of each one. And that's okay. We're just going to fill them in as we go. I kind of do a little stuff in there. And you could pick these up and eat them by hand if you wanted to, if they're cool enough when you go to serve them. That's kind of fun for a game day thing. Or you can cut them up with your fork at the dinner table. It's whatever works for you. This is just a fun recipe, something different. Our next item we're going to add to the tops of this is just some cheddar cheese. I'm just going to sprinkle this lightly. I will actually end up putting more on them probably when they come out. These are really good. Like I said, it's something different. My husband's not a real big baked potato eater, but I like them, so this kind of makes everybody a little happy. With that sour cream, I don't think you need a whole lot more salt on it, especially when your cheese has salt on it too. So take that into account when you start to salt and pepper these to taste, because it might be a little overwhelming when you think about how much salt is also in that mix of the ranch. So we're just going to start with that, and then we're going to be putting them in the oven. And I'll take you there in a second. So we'll be back. Okay, so I'm over here at my stove, and I'm actually going to show you what this looks like. So bear with me if I'm not doing a very good job of showing you this guy. There we go. They're in there cooking beautifully. Now I'm going to pull these out, and I'm going to put them, and I'm going to turn them over. So let me get you back. Very, 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 very hot oven. You can see them better. Hopefully you can hear them sizzling. I want to make sure my oven stays hot. That's the one thing with cooking with wood or pellets. It's hard to keep a good oven temperature going. So you just kind of have to fake it. And which is fine. Because if something would happen, the grid would go down, and this is what I was using to cook on, or my other antique one that doesn't require electricity. So I'm learning how to do it. Now, yes, this does require electricity, but I do have solar, and I've got many videos about the solar panels and different things like that, that I could still use this stove, hopefully. Hopefully. So, do you see how beautiful they look? I'm going to put them back in the oven, and I'm going to slide the potatoes on top of them to finish heating them up also. Sorry about the cough. It's still hanging around there. And here are the potatoes. That's going to go on top of there and get them warm. This will be really yummy. And we'll bring you back when we pull them back out. And then we have our potatoes that are nicely warmed up with some melted cheese on top of them. And we have our sausage that was coated in flour, sprinkled with some Old Bay. Now I'm going to get this a plate set up. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to smash mine up and put a little bit more butter on them. Some people might want to put more cheese on them, but it's totally up to you. And we'll be back in just a second. Okay, so let's see how this looks and how it tastes. So I'm going to go ahead and cut me up a piece. Let's have the meat. The sweet Italian sausages coated in flour with some Old Bay on them. Very, very, very good. I like that taste. And now for the potatoes with my mixture in the center, my double stuffed baked potatoes, which, yeah, I did smash them up and add a little bit more butter because I love butter. And some chives. Or onion tops, actually. So here we go. That is really, really good. So, well, that's what we're having for dinner. And remember, if you like my content, please like, share, and subscribe. Oh, if I was cooking this in a normal oven, I would have probably done the sausages on about 350, maybe 375 until they were done. But you don't want to over dry them out. Okay, but very, very good. Great flavors. The mixture just kind of mixes together. It's really cool. So remember, if you like my content, please like, share, and subscribe. And Charlie B signing out. I'll be seeing you soon. Now, oh, this is applesauce. I made that in 2020, and we still have some of it left. But I'm getting ready to make some more. So I'll be seeing you soon. And Charlie B really signing out this time.